It's Friday. It's video number 5. It's 5-minute Friday. Let's go. Whee! Change the colour of my light. What do you reckon? That's a different video for a different day. Right, so today is Friday. It is a new thing that we're trying, and you don't get to see this too much today. As you can see, I am in my very comfortable, very warm hoodie and my very comfortable, I'm a unicorn. Yes, I am. So today, different video, different thing altogether. I'm doing a 5-minute Friday. I said I wasn't going to be gimmicky, but actually, do you know what? I kind of like the way it sounds, so I went with it. I've done a quick editing breakdown tutorial for you. Some people are going to like it, some people probably won't. It's just showing the new masking system in Adobe Lightroom and the neural filters in Adobe Photoshop. You can make this skin look smooth. It's not perfect. It's not something that I would recommend for high quality retouching. It's something that I would say use if you're in a bit of a hurry or you want to do a quick turnaround to post something onto Instagram where the compression isn't too much of a big deal. It's good, it's a short-term fix, and it's something that will get you started in beauty retouching. By no means am I an expert in this. I'm definitely still learning all about how these things work, but I figured, you know, here I am, I'm an idiot with a camera. You've probably got a camera, you want to do these things, so I thought I'd throw together this little video. I hope you enjoy it. If you do, please give us a thumbs up. Please hit the subscribe button. It all helps. Drop a comment down below if you like it. I do try and answer all of my comments. I only get about 5, so it doesn't really take that much time. But yeah, please just let me know if you enjoy the video, and maybe drop in below what you want to see next week for next week's 5-minute Friday. Answers on a postcard. Welcome to the first of a series I'm calling 5-minute Friday. Try not to be too gimmicky, but you know what, 5-minute Friday kind of rings and I quite like it. So today what I want to do is show you how to take this image and turn it into this image using the new masking features in Adobe Lightroom and the neural filters in Adobe Photoshop. So first things first, here's our starter image. Let me delete these masks just so you can you can see from our starting point. Right, here we go. So first things first is we're going to click mask, we're going to click subject, it's going to select our subject for us. We're going to bring the highlights down, shadows down, bring some yellow into that image just a little bit, there we go. Bring the hue down just a smidgen to add a little bit of orange into that skin, lovely. Now I'm going to click here, I'm going to duplicate and invert that mask. What I'm going to do now is pull the highlights down so that it makes our model pop into the foreground a little bit more. Bring the contrast up, there we go, so she's now standing out a lot more. I want to add a tiny bit of warmth to that because it's looking a little bit cold, and I'm going to bring some purples up to balance out those greens, there we go. Now I'm going to bring this down again, so we've got a little bit more orange into there, so we can play with those orange and teals. Superb. Boost the saturation on that background a little bit. Now go back to our first mask, which is this one. Also pop the saturation, and boom, look, there we go, warm skin tones already. That was our before, this is our after. We haven't even started fully yet, but here we go. Right, next thing I want to do is I'm going to hit enter twice. I want to pull the blacks down a little bit here. I'm going to boost the whites in here. There we go. Again, there's our before, there's our after. You can see the image coming together already. With the blue and the aquas, I'm going to pull those down just a smidge. So we've got that nice teal and blue. Down the bottom here with the processing calibration, I'm going to boost the blues to about 15%. I'm going to bring the saturation of the green primary up to about 10%, and then the saturation in the reds by about 5%. There we go. Shadows, again, I want to boost the purples because there's some green in there that I want to balance out. There's our before, there's our after. Superb. Right, now I am going to right click on our image. I'm going to edit in Adobe Photoshop. If you can hear the snoring, that's my dog. He's about 5 foot behind me, and he snores like an old man. Right, Photoshop. Come on, there we go, there's our image, beautiful. Right, I'm going to hit Command L for levels. I'm going to bring the lights up a touch. I'm going to bring the mids up a little bit, there we go. Blacks, I want down just a smidge, there we go, perfect. Right, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into filter, I'm going to go neural filters. if you haven't used this before, it's quite a nifty little trick. I do find that it's not ideal for beauty retouching, but if you want to send a proof to a client and you want to, you know, show them a little bit of something, I don't know why it's just done that, but okay, it's just automatically done that, but here we go. Yeah, if you want to send them a proof of something, this is ideal because it just allows them to see what a retouched image can look like. Right, initially you want to go skin smoothing, but don't use the full preset. I usually go by about half, so bring that down to about 25, bring this down to about 20. So blur and smoothness, blur at 25, smoothness at 20. You can see what it looks like before, you can see what it looks like after. Output to a new layer here, and click OK. So now what we have is a new layer with those details removed, but the skin is now smooth. So as you can see, we've lost some of the shadowing around the nose and the mouth. So what I tend to do is get the eraser tool, erase the part of the layer that I'm not happy with it taking out. So like around the nose here, nostrils and stuff, because they tend to look a bit weird if they're washed out. Again, around the top of the eyes where the makeup is, you want the shadows there to give some definition. Perfect. Now what I want to do is get the dodge tool. With the dodge tool, I'm going to bring that up to the eyes, make those iris flares pop out a little bit, hit that in the whites of the eyes just to give that, you know, a little bit of a pop. Not too much there. Okay, let's bring that down by 30%. Boom, boom. Nice. Okay, so there's that before, there's that after. Lovely. Bearing in mind this is a 5-minute tutorial, this is not a full beauty retouch walkthrough, so please don't get your hopes up and think that I'm going to do that in 5 minutes, because if I could do that in 5 minutes I'd be fucking rich. Simples. Right, flatten that layer. Now what I want to do, create a new layer. I want to get a gradient. I'm going to put gradient mask over the top of that. I'm then going to hit multiply. With that I'm going to bring the opacity down to about 35%. There we go. What that's done is balanced out some of those tones a little bit more with a neutral gradient. So there's your before, there's your after. It's added a bit of warmth to that image. Right, I'm going to flatten this. There we go. I'm going to hit Command S to save back to Lightroom. Just a few more retouches to do on this one, nothing major. Right, back into Lightroom, here we go. There we go, that's our image. So now what I want to do, I want to put a vignette on the image. I'm going to move the midpoint out a little bit. I'm going to make the roundness higher and I'm going to feather that, bring that down just a touch more. What we've done now is made our model center focus. I'm going to go back to this. I'm going to hit people. There we go. So what this does is this selects the person, but it allows you to select individual parts. So I'm literally just going to go with hair and body skin. I'm going to create 2 separate masks. It'll tell you here, 2 separate masks. First one that I'm going to go to is hair. What I want to do, bring the highlights up a little bit, bring some contrast in, go down to texture and add a little bit of texture to that hair. If you go to before and after, you can see it's just added a little bit of detail to the hair there. Next one, I'm going to come down to this one and I'm going to add a small amount of warmth, so 4 on the warmth. I'm going to bring the saturation up a little bit more. Now what I want to do is bring the texture down. I'm bringing the texture down because it softens the skin. If you bring it down too much, it looks ridiculous. But if you bring it down to about 30, it just softens the skin. You may be able to get away with a little bit more, maybe 40, but not too much more than that because it starts to look a little bit weird. There we go. There is a slight little blemish there, so I'm going to remove that with the erase tool. And bish bash bosh, guys. There you go. That's before from Photoshop, this is after, and this is our image before we got to work on it. Is this the one? Yeah, so I'm going to hit reset on that. There we go. So there's our before, and here is our after. How about that? Beautiful. If you've enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up. Drop a comment if you would like to see something else. I always respond to the comments. And if you could subscribe and share the channel, that would mean the absolute world to me. And in this one, you didn't get to see my ugly mug, so it's a win-win, you know? Tune in next week for another 5-minute Friday. I don't know what I'm doing yet. It's just me winging it as I go. So, you know, idiot with a camera. Enjoy. Have a good weekend, guys. Bye-bye.